Well, we're pleased to confirm we've received the V6 Exige from Lotus Cars. I went up to Lotus on Friday and was handed the car over personally by James Haskey, the Lotus sales manager, and had the enjoyable job of driving it back. It's been a long time coming, but I'm pleased to confirm it's worth the wait. The car is just fantastic. It's obviously based on the previous Exige, except for the chassis had some modifications. It's got a longer rear subframe, and the obvious fact is it's got the supercharged V6 engine in now, which is just incredible. We've had a huge amount of interest. In my 5 years at Bell & Colvill, this has by far generated more interest than any Lotus before it. Speaking to Bobby Bell and Martin Colvill, they think it's sort of in line with the interest this Series 1 Elise got when it first came out. It's quite epic. We've got over 15 orders which have been taken before they've really had a chance to drive the car, and I've got somewhere in the region of 150 prospects to now contact and work my way through, so should be a fun few weeks ahead. I see the car's position in the market as very much a niche sort of track stroke road focused sports car. I mean, that's what Lotus really does best. There's only a couple of cars out in the market today that can sort of do what this Exige does. The GT3 is the obvious one and is quite often compared with. The obvious benefit with the Exige is it's half the price. I've seen a huge sort of difference in customer base coming through with the Exige. Obviously we've got our existing Lotus customer base, which we're grateful for, and they're hugely enthusiastic, but we're starting to get people from Porsche, Aston Martin, other marques that traditionally didn't come through our doors to look at this sort of product, and it's hugely exciting. So I'm going to talk a little about the various modes of traction control on this Exige, which is arguably one of the most impressive things. You've got touring, sport, race, and then completely off. In touring, it effectively is like a security blanket around you. It's constantly monitoring you, not allowing you any understeer. It monitors your oversteer and applies small amounts of brake to allow you to keep your shape. So it's completely safe if you're sort of learning to push on track days and also in varying weather conditions. You've then got sport, takes off the understeer monitoring, so it'll allow you also some oversteer slip, but will be monitoring at a slightly lesser level, so it will apply small amounts of rear brake again to correct your shape, but gives you a lot more flexibility. Probably the most impressive mode, and what the journalists find the best mode, is the race mode. It's incredibly clever. It's just a step on from sport. What it effectively does is it's monitoring the environment constantly. So it's learning the surface, the temperature, the grip levels. It'll even adjust to what tyres you're running, and it'll compensate and feed in different levels of slip allowance, and is theoretically the quickest mode that you can drive the car in. There are drivers out there who will always want to have the control themselves, and you can always turn it off if you want to do so. The great thing about buying a Lotus from Bell & Colvill is not only are we the longest serving Lotus dealer in the UK, we also offer servicing and parts all under one roof. So you can pick up the car, get it serviced with us. If you want to upgrade bits, we can help with that, and we've got a few exotic things to look at when you visit. Bell & Colvill have been proudly selling Lotus cars now for over 42 years. Both Bobby Bell and Martin Colvill, who started the business, were huge enthusiasts and were racing drivers themselves, and the Lotus just fitted perfectly. We have a full range of Lotus cars, starting with the modern cars, the Exige, the Evoras, going all the way back to some classics now that we're pleased to say we've got in stock. So you can really get a great overview of the full Lotus range. We've just taken in a 67 made Elan Plus 2, which would have been around when Bobby and Martin first started the business. You can see where Lotus really started, and go all the way through to some real track focused stuff. We get 211s, 340Rs, Exiges, so we try and show the range to its best potential. I think one of the successes for Bell and Colvill has been down to the area we're in and the roads that we have around here. They're not the best, and I think that's one of the best things when selling the car. I don't have to avoid any environment with this car. The engineering behind this, the setup and the ride and the handling, I can go down any B road, any country lane and still deliver the performance, the ride and the comfort, and that's such a big asset for me. I mean, of course on a track it's going to be incredible, but how often are you going to go on a racetrack with the car? Once a month maybe. You've got to live with it on the weekends and during the days, and that's when this is just so impressive, and I think that's the best thing for me about this car, is its ride and handling. I've actually carried out a couple of test drives and the feedback has been incredible. I mean, personally for me, now I've had a chance to live with the car, it's better than I hoped. I knew it was good from the small drives I've had, but now I've managed to put some serious miles on. It's incredible, and the customers I've had who've driven the car think it's just wonderful. In fact, I've actually taken a couple of orders on top of what I've already got, so it must be doing something right.